Hey, welcome back everyone. It's Andrew at Microphonic Designs here at the Colony High School. Once again, I'm very grateful to be back and to have such a good relationship with this program, which is pretty close to home. It's about a 30-minute drive to the campus here from home. Let's take a look at the layout this year, because if you caught last year's video for the Colony, we had to do some front to back row stuff, and this year I was able to keep it pretty clean. So take a look. Here's what we got this year. We've got 4 marimbas, 3 vibes in the back row, and we've got jumper cables between, like on the xylophone and the bells, which is actually a pedal Glock. And then I did end up changing this, so instead of having a bundle go between these two, we actually ran 2 more 10-foots across the vibraphone, so that this bundle here that goes to the Synth 1 cart actually meets at the end of vibe 3, and we'll see that here in a few minutes. The marimbas are all coming into one modular snake, which is coming forward, and the synth cart actually has a Yamaha TO 1608D stage box in it. So this is sort of a hub. So we're running power and Ethernet here. That's what this cable is. In the mixer, y'all know how we do it. Let's take a look at the custom layer. I've actually got this set up so that we have our DCAs in this bank for the marimbas, vibes, and synth. So the DCAs for the front ensemble are here, and when we select it, you'll see the rollout channels. They roll out all of the individual channels that are assigned to each of these DCAs. So the front ensemble that is, you know, all one thing are all over here on the left-hand side. We've got 8 soloist channels. We've got 4 wireless QLXD wireless channels. We've got 4 sideline microphones. And then over here we've got the stereo in, the reverb, the subwoofer send, and the mains. Down below, they've got a trip light battery. So you got the backup battery on deck, looking good. We've got our 4 QLXD receiver units. These are all in the G50 band, which is what you want whenever you're rolling out with multiple wireless channels. You want these to all be in the same frequency band. And we're actually looking at adding a 5th channel. I'm going to get them a quote a little bit later today, with another channel of QLXD and one of their like a mic, you know, one of the mics for one of their soloist instruments. So we're gonna possibly be adding a 5th one to this. We've also got the McCormick's old school field PA system output panel here. We've got the blue speak on, so this is the 2-channel speak on, and then the yellow over there. So the blue goes to the side 1 to the left, and the yellow output goes over to side 2, that's the right. And their yellow speak on actually came apart. So you'll see here, I actually need to do one last repair because the sub wasn't working. So I just need to do a little bit of repair work on this connector, and they'll be right as rain. It'll be good to go. On the backs of the carts, they actually have their passive speakers on 2 separate carts. So we run the 4 conductor cable from that panel to the back of each sub. And you'll see here I've got like that blue connector. So the speakers in the room today are actually backwards. These 2 should actually be over on side 1 over that way, and those over there should be this way on side 2. So you'll see we plug the 4 conductor cable into the left side of the sub, and then the signal for the full range cabinet comes across and gets spit out here, and then we have a regular 2 conductor cable that comes out and over to the full range main cabinet. So it's the exact same on the other side, except instead of red and blue, I've got white and yellow as the colors. So the red and blue, these actually need to go to the other side, and the white and yellow need to come over here to the side 2. So that's really all there is to look at down here. We do have in the back of the board, a lot of the heavy lifting was already done. I made sure it was all still good and secure though. So all the cabling in the back, we are rocking and good to go. We reduced this down to 1 modular snake, the red snake, coming in 1 through 8. They've got their own wireless router for iPad control. And then this is the Dante card. This is where they hook in from the synth cart. And then the synth cart plugs in down there for power. And because of the way that I have their channels laid out in the board, so I've got the marimbas here, right? All 4 marimbas. These come in channels 1 through 8. So that's pretty straightforward, right? Where we've got channels 1 through 8, marimba 1 high through marimba 4 low. Super easy. But you'll notice in the soundboard, I've got the vibraphones plugged into channels 9, 10, and 11. But how do we do that if the stage box has 16 inputs? Well, I've adjusted the Dante network. Check it out. Let me open the laptop here. Hopefully it'll boot up. Let me turn the flashlight off. So this is Dante controller, and I've got the laptop connected to the Dante network with a dongle, and it just needs to wake up here. Because what we should be seeing is on the transmitters, yeah, there we go. So on the columns here, we'll see these are the transmitters. These are things that are sending signal up here. We can open up the Yamaha 1608D column with the Yamaha NY64D row. So this block here is showing us audio is coming from the TO box and into the mixer. And you'll see here that I've got input number 1 on the stage box routed to channel 9 in the mixer. And I've just got it in a 1-to-1 from there. So channel 9, 10, and 11 are being fed from inputs 1, 2, and 3 on the stage box, and so forth. And so that's how I'm able to have these here all excuse me, all fed from the TO box. So if we look at the TO 1608D, which if you're not familiar with what that is, this thing is basically an extension of the back of the inputs of the Yamaha board. So you'll see these 3 cables here, this red, white, and blue. This is vibe 1, 2, and 3. We skip a channel to keep things even. And then we've got synth 1 left and right. We've got the SP404, which is right over here. We've got the left and right for that over here. So you'll see these are plugged into inputs 5, 6, 7, and 8. And again, they're fed to channels 13, 14, 15, and 16 on the board. And then we've got synth 2 that plugs in down here. And we've got a couple little pieces of tape there to help them remember. So synth 2 plugs into the first 2 jacks on the bottom row here, numbers 9 and 10. And that's really it. That's all we really have to do for everything coming into the stage box. Again, you'll notice that unlike my walkthrough video, I have quick config here turned off, and the unit IDs no longer matter in this particular case because we've got quick config turned off. And then in the mixer itself, I'll show you what the settings need to be in order to make that work. We also have to come into settings. We go into slot setup, and let me turn the flashlight off again so we can get the good angle. Slot setup, and then you'll notice quick config is not turned on. It's disabled. That's really important to make this whole thing work. So that is what we have going on. Let's take a look at the cabling. And I had Lainey here helping me earlier. She helped me knock this thing out pretty quick today. The marimbas, it's pretty straightforward. It's exactly as you saw in the diagram, where the 2 cables here for marimba 4, they come in this way, and they join marimba 3 right there, single to single, double to double, and then they come along. We add the cables from the mics from marimba 3. We keep everything in their lane, nice and neat. And those all join over here. It's a little cramped here in the percussion hall, but this will be a little more spaced out. You see they have the tom arms there for some toms that they're gonna have. Here's the modular snake, it comes up front. And the trick with the modular snakes to make this quick and easy during setup is to only color code one side. Now, if you're familiar with the channel, you've heard me say this on every video, but just in case any of you are new to the channel, tuning into this video for the first time, this is a pro tip I have for you. If you're going to use these, since the connectors have like a trapezoid shape, they have to be connected in one particular way. So we put color code only on one side to make sure there's no guessing and no checking the shape to make sure it goes in the right way. It's just easy to tell. These line up with the colors there. And then this is how I get all of the connections wrangled and, secured to the instrument. And then let's start over here at marimba 1. You'll see we have just some cable management there in the middle from our 2 mics. These cables come this way. Again, keeping things nice and clean. They join the jumper cables on Marimba 2 that go to the mod snake, the modular snake. And again, we're keeping everything nice and neat. Little color or a little cable management action there. We add the 2 cables from the Marimba 2 microphones, and then these go down again to meet the modular snake. And these blocks are not going anywhere. I'm shaking the whole instrument with that. Not going anywhere. I make sure those things are cranked and on there so that they're very secure. We took a look at the synth carts. The Synth 2 cart here actually has a custom dual bundle that I made for them last year that is just their blue and double blue, and then they have the power cable here that just plugs into their power conditioner. The Synth cart also has a battery to power up the TO box as well, and they are rocking a Yamaha Mo XF8 for Synth 2. And they have a ModiX, what is this? I think this is the ModiX 8 maybe? The 7, yeah, this is the 8 for their Synth 1 parts. It looks like they've got some sounds and patches loaded in there already, as well as the SP404SX sampler. And then for the vibraphones, you'll see this is the bundle of cables we have coming across. So this is what I was talking about, where I decided to have the bundle join the end of Marimba or Vibe 3 instead of between these 2 instruments. So let's start all the way down here at Vibe 1. All right, so here we have Vibe 1. Again, a little cable management there. That cable comes across to meet vibraphone 2. Cable management again. We add the cable for the mic from Vibe 2. And those come across. Now here are the jumper cables. So the xylophone and the pedal Glock next to it, those do not have microphones, but they do have cables, because we're carrying the signal from these 2 vibraphones on the left all the way across, yeah, to Vibe 3. There we are. So they connect to Vibe 3 right there. And then these cables continue to come across. So this is still just the signal for Vibes 1 and 2. We add the cable for Vibe 3 right here, and then they meet the bundle, which goes to the TO1608D. And there you have it. Now, some stuff that is not pictured. So we took a look at the QLXD units that are in the mixer cart. They also, as I pointed out in the mixer channels, they also have, I've planned for them to have 4 sideline microphones. So they do not need to use all 4, but they have the room and capability to do 4. And we have these in a big old bundle right here. Yeah, so I made sure Lainey put a fresh coat of colored tape on there, red, white, blue, yellow. Y'all know how I do it. And so these cables here can be run either to side 1, they can be run out to side 2, or anywhere they need that they'll reach to plug in those sideline mics. And at first, I thought I might run these into the synth cart, to the TO box, but I decided, you know what, since I'm not sure, and they're not 100% sure where these sideline mics are gonna go or how many they're gonna need just yet, let me just plan for all 4 to come straight into the mixer, and we'll be good to go, so we don't have to worry about it. And like I said, yeah, other than these cables here coming to Vibe 3, we just had them go across. Other than that little change, everything is good to go. And they are considering adding another SP404 sampler unit. And they're thinking about, hey, let's just add it straight here into the sound cart, into the mixer cart, and we'll have the student that runs the mixer also do a couple samples on the second SP404. And the easiest way to probably go about that is just to do a pair of RCA cables to 1/4" jacks. And I have allocated a couple channels here. Right, actually they're down here. This is the SP404B, left and right. And in the custom layer, even though, well, let me back up. On input layer 1, they're all the way down here at the end, but on the custom layer, when we select the electronics DCA, they're right here. So as long as they're on the custom layer and they select this DCA, the second SP404 is here, and they're just gonna plug in to inputs 27 and 28 on the back of the board. So when they add this second sampler to the mixer cart, they're just gonna plug in to 27 and 28 right here next to the sideline mics. So yeah, that's a really close, really detailed look at the setup for the Colony High School this year. Definitely feeling much more rested after having gotten home from the whole PSJA ISD week, if you caught those videos. If not, definitely go check them out. I got exhausted from those setups, but some family time, some good sleep in my own bed, and of course, some home-cooked meals from my beautiful bride got me all energized and ready for today. So with Lainey's help, we got this knocked out in a little under 4 hours. It's just after 2 p.m. today, and we got here right at 10 o'clock when we unloaded the car and everything. So yeah, feeling really good about the setup today. Came together very nicely, and all the cables are working. We sound checked everything, and my good friend James Hopkins, the director of percussion over here, he is ready to go for the season. I think they were doing a head change for the battery today while we worked on this, so it worked out great. So if you yourself are looking for help for your fall ensemble, or if you've sort of come to the realization at this point of the year that, hey, you need some help, get in touch. You can reach me at microphonicdesigns.com/contact. I've got a form that you can fill out there with details, or if you prefer to just book a call with me, I've got a phone call meeting scheduling thing on the same page. You can also reach me at andrew@microphonicdesigns.com. That's my direct email. But the better way to get in touch if you've not worked with us before is go to the contact page on the website and fill those details out, and we'll get you started in the process there. So thank you so much for tuning in and checking the video out. Leave any questions or comments below. I would love to hear from you about your setup, or if you've got questions about this one. And until next time, y'all, take care, peace. I'll see you then.